Hey, welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelly. Basically, you start out with massive amounts of data. You say, how are we going to analyze this? Well, let's fire up a pivot table and see if we can solve this problem. Welcome back to the Mr. Excel Netcast. I'm Bill Jelly. I want to thank Mike Girvin. Mike gave me a pointer to this cool white paper called Improving Performance in Excel 2007 by Charles Williams. Here we'll zoom in on the URL. msdn.microsoft.com/en-us/aa730921.aspx. Fascinating 50-page document that goes through a whole lot of issues about calculation speed. And I just want to illustrate one amazing thing I saw here. We need to add a running total to this column. So there's 10,000 rows. How would you add the running total? Well, I've seen a lot of people, and initially I would do this. I would always put in the first formula and then use plus the previous number plus the current number and send that down. Double click the fill handle. I was never a big fan of that because you had to enter one formula and then a second formula, and so I've kind of geeked out with the quote-unquote better way to do it. Be $2 to B2 in the sum, and that automatically expands, and we get the exact same answers as we copy it down. All right, simple enough. But in the white paper, it started to talk about the calculation speed and which way was a faster way to go. And it's very intuitive exactly what's happening. Here, each cell is adding up 2 cells. So if we have 10,000 numbers, basically you're looking at 20,000 references. No hassle at all. But let's just come here. This cell has to look at 6 cells, or 5 cells. This has to look at 5 cells. And this one has to look at 6 cells. And this one has to look at 7 cells, all the way down to this one that has to look at 8,479 cells. And so, if you add all those up, 8,479 plus 8,478 plus 8,477, all the way back up to the one that looks at just one cell, the recalc time is dramatically longer. Here's an example. I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to use a little macro that was in Charles' white paper. I'm going to press Control S on my screen, and it's going to count the number of microseconds to calculate that range. So it's 1.1969 seconds. Now, I'm going to come over and select the exact same size range using the simpler formula, the one that I used to think wasn't sophisticated. Press Control S. Method 2 calculates instead of 1.19 seconds in 0.018 seconds. Dramatically faster. It's by an order of 100 times faster that it's calculating. So, interesting, when you start to get large cells, what appears to be the quote-unquote best formula may not in terms of calculation speed. So this is a great white paper. If you're fascinated in stuff like this, Improving Performance in Excel 2007, just all kinds of things like that. So shout out to Charles Williams. Great white paper. Check it out, again, at the URL I gave earlier. I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another Netcast from Mr. Excel.